We're all searching for balance, right? In this crazy, busy world. But what if the secret, the real blueprint for a life that feels whole, wasn't some new age self-help book, but something much, much older? Well, today we're going to dive into this incredible framework from Hindu philosophy. It's called the Purusharthas, and it lays out the 4 essential goals for a truly fulfilled life. I mean, does this hit close to home? You're juggling everything. Your career, the bills, your relationships. You're checking all the boxes. You're doing everything you're supposed to do. And yet, there's still this feeling, right? Like something's just a little bit off, or maybe something big is missing. Yeah, and if you feel that way, you are absolutely not alone. That whole constant juggling act thing, that's pretty much the defining challenge of modern life. We're all chasing success, chasing happiness, but that feeling of real, true harmony, it just always seems to be one step ahead of us. So let's get into it. Let's look at this ancient blueprint. This isn't just some old idea, it's a completely integrated way of looking at our lives and what we're aiming for. And I want to be clear, this isn't just some abstract philosophy. No, it's a super practical framework. Think of it like this. Imagine building your life on 4 really strong pillars. If one is weak, the whole thing gets wobbly. But if they're all in balance, you've got a solid, stable structure. That's the whole idea behind the Purusharthas. Okay, so the word itself is Purushartha. It literally means the object of human pursuit, which is just a way of saying it's the answer to that huge question we all ask. What should I actually be doing with my life to feel fulfilled? And here they are, the 4 pillars. First, you've got Dharma. That's your sense of purpose, your ethics. Then there's Artha. This is about prosperity, security, wealth. After that, Kama. We're talking pleasure, desire, enjoyment. And finally, the big one, Moksha, which is all about spiritual liberation. All right, let's break these down. We're going to start with the first 3 because these are the ones that really shape our day-to-day lives. They're all connected, and they form the foundation of how we operate in the world. So it all begins with Dharma. This is your bedrock, your ethical foundation. You can think of it as your moral compass, the thing that guides every other choice you make. It's about doing the right thing, not just because it's good for you, but because it contributes to the harmony of the whole world. And again, this isn't some high-in-the-sky idea. Dharma is real, and it shows up every single day. It's about acting with integrity at work, being honest with the people you love, fulfilling your responsibilities to your family and your community. It's the how behind everything you do. Okay, next up is Artha, and this pillar is all about being practical. It recognizes a simple truth. You need stuff to live. You need resources. So Artha is all about building that material security, your career, your money, a roof over your head. This philosophy totally validates the pursuit of wealth as a key part of a balanced life. And then there's Kama. And this is where things get really interesting, because this framework is not about denying yourself. Not at all. It says that pleasure, enjoying life through love, art, good food, relationships, is a totally valid and important goal. It's about soaking up all the richness and beauty that life has to offer. Okay, but here's the rub. Here's where it gets tricky for all of us. You can see the tension, right? That drive for Artha, to make money, to get ahead, can really clash with our Dharma, with our ethics. It's the classic question. How do you get what you want without selling your soul? Well, this ancient philosophy has a pretty brilliant solution. It's called dana, which we translate as charity. But it's so much more than just giving away some cash. It's seen as a practice, a bridge that connects the two. It literally transforms your personal wealth, your artha, into fuel for your ethical life, your dharma. And get this isn't just some old, dusty idea. A recent study actually looked into this, and it turns out this concept is still incredibly powerful today. The data shows that people really do see charity as a way to connect their material and spiritual goals. They see it as a duty that makes their wealth feel more meaningful. It's a perfect example of this ancient idea of balancing Artha and Dharma playing out right now. So we've talked about the 3 goals that help us navigate our everyday lives. But this framework doesn't stop there. It points to something bigger, something higher. There's a 4th, ultimate goal that kind of puts all the others into a whole new perspective. And that is moksha. This is the big one. We're talking about spiritual liberation, a state of deep, lasting peace that has nothing to do with how much money you have or who you're dating. Remember that feeling of unfulfillment we talked about at the beginning? Moksha is the goal that speaks directly to that. It's about finding a contentment that comes completely from the inside. Okay, so we've laid out the 4 pillars, right, in the traditional order. But what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if there's a twist? What if one of these 4 pillars is actually the secret engine that powers the whole system? Seriously, think about it for a second. The standard way to see it is that Dharma guides everything and moksha is the end goal. But maybe that's not the full picture. What if the real driving force behind everything is desire? What if it's all powered by kama? Now, this isn't a new idea. This argument comes straight out of the Mahabharata, one of the greatest epics ever written. In it, the hero Bhima basically says, hey, without desire, without kama, why would anyone even bother trying to get rich, or even trying to be a good person? He argued it's the most fundamental impulse we have. So, from this angle, kama stops being just about pleasure. It becomes something much bigger. It becomes the universal principle of desire itself. It's the want, the urge. It's the engine behind literally everything we do. And once you see it that way, everything just clicks. The desire for wealth and security, that's Artha. The desire to do the right thing and be a good person, that's Dharma. Heck, even the drive for moksha is powered by a desire, a deep, powerful desire for liberation. They're all just different kinds, different flavors of kama. So what does this all mean? Well, this little twist, it changes everything. It turns this ancient philosophy from a simple list of goals into a powerful mirror that we can hold up to ourselves. At the end of the day, the Purusharthas are not a rigid checklist you have to follow. Think of it more like a map of your own inner world, a map of your motivations. It's a tool that lets you see all the different desires that are pulling at you, and it challenges you to find a balance between them, on purpose. And that brings us right to the final and maybe most important question. If everything we chase, whether it's money, being a good person, pleasure, or even spiritual freedom, if it all comes from desire, then the question you have to ask yourself is this: what is the ultimate object of your desire? What's really, truly driving you?